China officially has 1.4 billion people, but what if that number is a lie? A lie so big, it's hiding an entire Japan's worth of people. Today, we are going to look at the data, birth records, school enrollments, a massive police database hack, and at the end of this video, we are going to calculate China's real population together. Let's get into it. Most people think China's population story begins with the one-child policy, but it actually starts earlier. With a rocket scientist, Song Jian, a missile engineer with no background in demography, ran a population model in the late 1970s and concluded that China was heading toward catastrophic overpopulation. His calculations alarmed the Communist Party, and in 1980s, the one-child policy was born. For 37 years, forced abortions, sterilizations, and heavy fines reshaped hundreds of millions of lives. The policy worked, maybe too well. It left China with a massive gender imbalance, a rapidly aging population, and what demographers call the 4-to-1 problem. One young person now financially responsible for 2 parents and 4 grandparents. China killed its own demographic engine, and now it's paying the price. Here is where it gets interesting, and as a statistician, this is the part that genuinely shocked me. Dr. Yu Fuxin from the University of Wisconsin-Madison argues that China's real population is around 130 million, lower than officially reported. That's not a rounding error, that's Japan disappearing from the data. The evidence is hard to ignore. In 2022, a hacker leaked data from a Shanghai police database covering nearly 1 billion citizens, a number far below the official 1.4 billion. Then look at the school records. Primary school enrollments are dropping by 2 million every single year. DTP vaccine doses, which track actual births, tell the same story. And across China, maternity wards are shutting down not because of policy, but because there simply aren't enough babies. Why would the government inflate these numbers? Because local officials receive education, healthcare, and infrastructure funding based on population size. The incentive to lie is built directly into the system. It isn't just China's problem. It affects you too. China built its entire economic model on cheap, abundant labor. That model is breaking. As the working age population shrinks, wages rise, and factories are already moving to Vietnam, India, and Mexico. The world's factory is quietly relocating. Domestically, millions of apartments were built for a population that never arrived, creating cost and a real estate sector now in free fall. By 2050, projections show 1 retiree for every 2 workers, pushing the pension system toward collapse. Globally, as cheap Chinese goods disappear, expect inflationary pressure on everything from electronics to clothing. The supply chain the world built around China is being quietly dismantled. So, what's China's plan? Essentially, replace missing humans with machines. China is now the world's largest robotics market. In 2023, there were 470 robots per 10,000 workers, and that number is climbing fast. The government is also investing in humanoid robots specifically designed to care for the elderly, because there simply won't be enough young people to do it. On migration, China isn't opening its doors wide. Instead, it launched a J-Visa program targeting high-skilled STEM talent from abroad. But China remains a hard sell compared to Western countries. High salary requirements, cultural barriers, and limited pathways for foreign workers make mass immigration unlikely. Can automation really fill a gap this large? That's the trillion-dollar gamble. Now, let's do the calculation I promised. We have 4 data points to work with. First, the official figure, 1.4 billion, as reported by the Chinese government. Second, the Shanghai police leak from 2022. Approximately 970 million to 1 billion registered citizens in the database. Third, school enrollment data. China's National Bureau of Statistics reports around 9 million births per year in recent years. But primary school first grade enrollments tell a different story. They suggest actual cohort sizes closer to 7 to 7.5 million. Extrapolated across all age groups, that's a cumulative gap of tens of millions. Fourth, DTP vaccine doses. These are administered to virtually every newborn and tracked independently. When we align vaccine data with official birth figures, there is consistently a gap of 1 to 2 million births per year, every single year for over a decade. Dr. Yefushin ran these numbers through a formal demographic model at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. His conclusion: China's real population is approximately 1.27 to 1.28 billion. The leaked police data, the school records, and the vaccine figures all point to the same range. Four independent data sources, one consistent answer. Our estimate 1.27 billion, roughly 130 million fewer people than Beijing claims, a gap the size of Japan. And that changed everything. Trade forecasts, military projections, pension calculations, and global economic models built around a China that might not actually exist. China risks growing old before it grows rich, and the world is only beginning to understand what that means. Does a country's strength lie in its numbers or in the quality and innovation of its people? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.